Anime Crossroads, now in Plainfield, Indiana, was the first anime convention I ever attended, all the way back in 2011. After more than 5 years since my last visit, I couldn't help but feel that this year's convention was a significant step forward for the event. Welcome to the official Convention Reviews Anime Crossroads 2023 review. Over the years, Anime Crossroads has steadily been gaining attention despite its small size. As such, it's crucial for the convention to find a location that can accommodate its growth in the coming years. For reasons unknown to me, Anime Crossroads has had to move locations quite a bit. Their new location, and from what they're saying, hopefully permanent location, is the beautiful Embassy Suites in Plainfield, Indiana. Personally, this may be my favorite location Anime Crossroads has ever called home, though I do have some concerns. In the past, Anime Crossroads has always been a bit of a hallway con. Their previous location at the Windham, Indianapolis West was a bit better in this regard, but they've always had trouble finding a venue with nice open spaces. Although we loved the gorgeous lobby of the hotel itself, most of the Embassy Suites consists of long, slightly cramped hallways with some open space on the far ends. Even with the convention still having this hallway con problem to an extent, I honestly think this location is a big step forward. My only concern is that this location will not give Anime Crossroads much room to grow. I could absolutely be wrong, but we didn't really see any space to expand. Panel rooms were a bit cramped, and although it was totally fine on Friday, the main events room was quickly overwhelmed during multiple panels. I'm hopeful there's more room we were not able to see as attendees, but if not, I worry Crossroads could outgrow this location in no more than a couple of years, but only time will tell. The convention felt well organized this year, with only a few minor delays here and there. Compared to other conventions we've been to where main event panels can start over an hour late, Anime Crossroads ran super smoothly throughout the weekend. A huge shout out to the co-con chairs, as well as everyone on staff. I think you guys did a spectacular job this year. Oh, also, I wanted to give a shout out to Opening Ceremonies. I know a lot of people skip these at most cons, and I get it, but somehow Crossroads still manages to deliver a fast-paced, fun opening ceremonies that really sets the mood for the weekend in a way I've still never seen from any other convention. This year's dealer's room was, I believe, the largest Crossroads has ever had. Is it as big as something like Asen's or Yomacon's dealer's rooms? Obviously not, but for their size, this vendor's hall was great, featuring a wide variety of anime and gaming merch, as well as some pretty unique artists in the artist alley. My only complaint is that once again, this area felt a bit cramped. It was great that they offered so many options, but every time I visited the dealer's room, it was packed full of people to the point where it was a bit hard to navigate. I found the gaming room to be pretty abysmal. Like normal, they featured a video game room as well as a tabletop gaming room. Both rooms were pretty small. The video game room itself was honestly one of the smallest and least interesting gaming rooms I've ever seen. I'm probably not even showing much footage of it now because we didn't see any reason to spend much time there, though we did poke our heads in from time to time. Although there wasn't much being offered, on Saturday it did fill up with people who looked like they were really enjoying it. Back in the day, Crossroads had arcade-style machines and rhythm games set up in the common area. Maybe they're gone now due to space limitations, I'm not really sure, but even just bringing those back could really add a little variety into the gaming options for future years. The electronic dance party held on Saturday night was a blast. All the DJs did a fantastic job. I would love to see more interesting lighting in the future, but this isn't going to make or break this event. If I were to give just one piece of feedback on it, we noticed the first two DJs didn't play many anime remixes, but the third one did. We don't feel every DJ needs to throw in anime songs during these parties, but the times I've seen the crowds at these things go the most wild in the past was when the DJ would throw in some anime music. We all thought it may have worked nicely to have the third DJ go first instead, or for the other two DJs who went earlier in the night to mix in a little more anime into their sets to really get that huge crowd from when the doors first opened hyped up. Either way, it was still a super solid way to end Saturday. The size of Anime Crossroads Crossroads is small, but growing. If they play it right, I could see A-Cross growing into a smaller, medium-sized con in a few years. Location gets an 8. Honestly, I loved it. I should also mention the free parking and extreme ease of access to food nearby. That being said, it's still mostly a hallway con, and I worry Crossroads might have already outgrown this space even in their first year here. I guess time will tell. Organization gets a 10. Absolutely perfect in my eyes. A few things were a little late, but it was very minuscule. Registration was super fast and well put together all weekend. I've been racking my brain, but I really can't come up with any issues that were big enough for me to dock points here. Very well done. The dealer's room gets a 9. I love the variety and the growth visible here. I'm just docking this 1 point because it felt very cramped every single time I was in there. Other than that, I have no complaints. The game room gets a 4. Not great. It's possible I'm being too harsh here. I mean, they did at least have a game room, and there was a small amount of people who could fit into the room to take advantage of it. But I have been to so many conventions at this point, and comparing this to even game rooms in other cons of similar sizes, it just didn't stack up at all. To be fair, I'm not saying it was the fault of those who organized the game room. This may have just come from space constraints. But either way, I can't give it a higher score than this. Guests get a 9. They managed to get some pretty cool voice actors as well as some nice cosplay guests. It wasn't anything over the top, but for the size of the con, it seemed totally reasonable. Main events get a 9. We actually attended quite a few of the main event panels, from the Idol Fete on Friday to the drag show, masquerade, and dance party on Saturday. All of them were very entertaining and well put together. We did see a couple of technical issues with sound, and the lighting seemed a bit lacking, but none of these issues put any sort of damper on the events. The main events room is too small though. During the drag show and the masquerade, there were a ton of people who had to stand all along the edges of the panel room for the 2 hours these events lasted from start to finish. Staff gets a 10. I personally had no issues with the staff at all. I thought they seemed very helpful and good at what they were assigned to do. I also liked that they all seemed to be easy to identify as staff, though maybe some kind of matching shirts or something in the future so people can know without a doubt who is and isn't staff at a quick glance would be nice. There were also safety staff members wearing bright yellow vests, super easy to identify. In our experience at least, they were super nice and did a great job keeping the con safe. Last but not least, the electric dance party gets a 9. I loved all the DJs, I loved the energy, I thought the speakers sounded good, but I would love to see more interesting lighting and maybe move a couple of anime songs toward the start of the event, as I've personally seen the effect this can have on crowds at anime cons in the past. 2023 felt like a big step forward for Anime Crossroads. Everything was well organized, the space felt super cozy, the main events were a blast, and the overall vibe was fantastic. My only complaints are concern that they're already too big for this venue, even though I like the venue, and a pretty lackluster gaming setup. All in all, I think this year is a sign of great things to come for Anime Crossroads in the coming years. I look forward to seeing where they go from here. With all that being said, I'm giving Anime Crossroads 2023 a solid 8.5 out of 10, as well as the convention review's seal of approval.